Welcome to NEK VT Rocks, and my guest today is Beth Barns. And Beth, as some of you know, used to live here, moved away, and couldn't wait to come back. Welcome.
Thank
So
you.
we're going to talk about the Green Mountain Hiking Club. Is that
The Green Mountain Club.
the
Green Mountain Club. And you're right, I couldn't wait to get back. I had a 18-month hiatus, and here I am again, so thanks for welcoming me back. Yes, I'm here to talk about the Green Mountain Club, which is a statewide club. And the Green Mountain Club, the Long Trail was built between 1910 and 1930. And the Green Mountain Club maintains and promotes the beauty of this long trail. And in Vermont, there are 14 sections or chapters.
Right.
And locally, we have one, which is the NEK chapter. And that's what I'm here to talk about.
Cool. So what got you into this?
Well, I moved to Vermont from Southern California, where there aren't a lot of mountains. There are mountains, but not as accessible as they are here.
Kind of different weather, too.
And a lot different weather, yes. And when I moved here, I really knew nothing about Vermont, and I especially knew nothing about the Northeast Kingdom. But it was pretty obvious that I'd landed in a beautiful part of the world. And I'm an outdoors person anyway.
Right.
And when I looked around me, I thought, I want to hike. I've never really hiked seriously in my life, but I had no idea how, and it sounds silly, I had no idea how to do it. Do I just pull up on the side of the road and start walking? And so I stumbled upon the Green Mountain Club, the NEK section,
Yeah.
a lovely woman named Jean Haig, who,
I remember Jean.
Yeah, sadly, she passed away
Yeah.
last year. She was a well-loved educator in the Northeast Kingdom and just a real powerhouse. And she introduced me to the Green Mountain Club and taught me to hike. So I joined the group.
march.
Yeah, to march. Yeah, you're right. You knew Jean
I
then.
know Jean.
Yeah, you know Jean. Yeah. And it was her dream, actually, to have a section here in the Northeast Kingdom. She had served as the president for the Green Mountain Club, the statewide
Right.
Green Mountain Club, but there was no section or chapter here in the Northeast Kingdom because technically we don't have any of the Long Trail here in the NEK. We have it close. We have the Journey's End,
Yeah.
which is in J,
Right.
which you can, on a fine day you can see it, but it's technically not our chapter.
Right.
So Jean had this vision to start a chapter here in the Northeast Kingdom, which she did start with a small group in 2000, and she really watched it grow through the last 20 years. And she was the one that infected me into hiking and taught me how to hike and introduced me to this wonderful club where I've met so many people from so many different walks of life and people who live here permanently,
Right.
people who come here for vacation, people who maybe have summer homes. And the great thing about the Green Mountain Club is you can join it whether you live here or whether you just visit here, and you can enjoy the benefits of it. And it might be a little known fact. I actually didn't know it until I was researching my information for this show that the Long Trail was the inspiration for the Appalachian Trail.
Huh.
Yeah, so I found that very fascinating. We get a lot of people who will
Who are through hikers.
yeah,
on the
who are through
Appalachian.
hikers.
Yeah.
And the Long Trail actually spans 272 miles from the
Right.
Massachusetts border to the Canadian border. And like I said before, it ends up here in Jay. And it's the longest, hiking it's the longest hiking trail in the United States, longest continuous
Right.
hiking trail in the United States. So we have a lot to celebrate. And when people think about the Long Trail, I think their thoughts probably go to Camel's Hump or Mount Mansfield.
The big names.
The big names. But like I said, we're really happy to have 38 trails here in the Northeast Kingdom, none of which are technically the Long Trail.
But still fabulous trails.
Still fabulous, and I'm sure you've hiked lots of them,
Yes, I
Pam,
have.
over at Lake Willoughby. There's Pisgah and
Yeah.
Mount Hoare,
Yeah, there's a lot of
Haystack.
beautiful trails.
Yeah. And then there are also some outliers that maybe a lot of people don't know about. I'm sure you do, the Silvio Conti Wildlife Management Area. There are some nice new trails over there, and that's in Brunswick, which is out past Island Pond on the way to
Right.
Connecticut. Yeah. And then there's also Moose Bog. Have you been to Moose Bog?
I haven't. Dan has. My
It's
partner,
beautiful.
who's a hiking fanatic.
Yeah, it's really beautiful, and it's one of the trails that's easily accessible if you're not into climbing mountains per se. It's fairly
Right.
flat.
So does the NEK branch of the Green Mountain Club accommodate all levels of hiking ability?
I'd like to say yes, but hiking mountains would suggest that you have to have a certain
Right.
level of fitness. The great thing, again, about the group, though, is that it's not a first one to the top attitude.
Right.
We hike and we wait for the people that might be a little bit slower, and then we chat, we look around, we start again. So it's a really great workout, but it's also very all-inclusive, which is one thing I love about it, because not everybody hikes at the same speed
Right.
or intensity.
Yeah.
If that's what you want, then you can certainly get together with your members in the club who do like to hike the same way you do and do that. But for our more casual hikes, it's everybody's welcome. And we also, we really encourage families to hike and to get
So you
that
have
next
kids as well.
to get
Oh,
that
that's
next
great.
generation.
That is great.
Yeah, ready to hike and
And to enjoy being outdoors.
yeah, there's so much to enjoy, and sometimes there's not a view at the top of the mountain like there might be at the top of Mount Mansfield
Right.
or Camel's Hump, but I feel personally that the view is every step I take,
Right.
because it's beautiful up here in the Northeast Kingdom.
Yes.
I could hike all day and not meet another hiker, unlike Mount Mansfield or Camel's Hump, which are in closer proximity
with
to
people.
population. Yeah, yeah. So I can highly recommend people coming up here to the Northeast Kingdom
Right.
and learning about the beautiful trails that we have.
Yeah.
We're here and we'd love to show them, we'd love to welcome new members. But I also wanted to mention something that was really near and dear to Jean, and that was the Kingdom Heritage Trail, which is, I don't know, you probably know where Lake Lewis is?
Right.
Lewis Pond, excuse me. So this Kingdom Heritage Trail was a collaboration between the NEK Green Mountain Club and Northwood Stewardship and the Vermont Department of Parks
and Rec.
Parks and Recreation. Yeah, there's another word for it. Anyway, Vermont Department of Parks and Recreation. And last year we opened what is going to be a 20-mile through hike from Lewis Pond to Island Pond.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, isn't that neat? Yeah, it's going to go over Gore, which is in Avery Gore.
Yeah.
And Middle Mountain and Bluff, I believe. It's Middle
And
Gore and
Doesn't
Bluff.
matter.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
will be open in the spring.
It's already open. You have to be pretty intrepid. I mean, you have
Yeah.
to do a lot of hiking. At this point, there are no huts or there are no campsites or anything for someone to actually do it in increments. I think that might be on the table for the future.
Yeah.
But that was a really exciting collaboration.
That's a lot of work.
It was a lot of work. I have to say I didn't do very much. I spent one day clearing a very short bit of the trail, but there were a lot of people over the years who have been really,
Right.
really dedicated to it, and Jean was one of them. Yeah,
That's amazing. That was an amazing legacy for her to leave.
I know. She left a lot of wonderful legacies, personally to a lot of people.
Right.
And to the club as a whole, and I think I can probably speak for everyone when we say we miss her very much. I believe she was 85,
Yeah.
and
She
I
was
could barely
amazing.
keep up with her.
Right.
Yeah, but so the great thing about the NEK chapter is, we're here.
Right.
I get the feeling that maybe not a lot of people know that there's a Green Mountain Club chapter here.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
a lot more will now.
Yeah, so I appreciate you having me on the show.
Is this a year-round club?
Yeah, year round. Of course, not during mud season.
Right.
Yeah, but year round,
So you
definitely.
do have winter hikes too?
Yeah, we
That's
just
great.
a couple weeks ago, I was on a winter hike at Mount Hoare, and we met at the trailhead, and we hike right now within the COVID guidelines, which means 10 or fewer people on the trail.
Sure.
You can't linger at the trailhead, and you can't carpool.
Right.
And you need to wear your mask when you're hiking. But we had a really lovely
You can't
hike on
party
snowshoes.
afterwards.
And no
can't party
partying afterwards. No. So there were 10 of us that snowshoed from the parking lot and up the CCC trail and then up to the top of Mount Hoare. Yeah. And I met some new people. Some new members have joined since I've been gone. And so that was a lot of fun. And I'm hoping by way of this presentation on NEK-TV that I'll have a chance to meet a lot more new members.
I bet you will. So people can find out about you through organizations, events like Facebook or the website. And I presume you have a brochure of some sort?
Actually, we don't right now. We're working on one. But the best place to get information is nekgmc.org. That's our local chapter. And then I think it'd be really interesting for people, if they don't know a lot about the Green Mountain Club, to go on greenmountainclub.org. And that'll give an entire overview on the history and what we do at large.
The super organization as well as just the NEK chapter.
Because there's a lot of really interesting, there are a lot of really interesting events going on at the statewide level. And I think a lot of them are on Zoom right now, which makes it a lot easier because that means you don't have to drive to Waterbury Center to take part in them. And we just, it's built on volunteerism around the beautiful Green Mountains, and of course our mountains here in the NEK. So for me, it's just a win in every way. And I really appreciate that that we have a leave no trace attitude as well, which is take only photographs and leave only footprints. And I don't think I've ever seen litter on any of the trails that I've hiked on. So I think people take that seriously.
Pretty impressive. I'm glad about that. And I hope that people don't drop cigarette butts and other ghastly things.
I don't think they do. I don't think they'd stand a chance of doing some of these hikes if they were smokers.
You're all fierce.
We'll pick up our pace if they are,
Are there sort of introductory hikes for people who think they might be interested or might not, but they'd like to test drive it first?
Definitely. They can contact us and find out where we're hiking, and we'd love to have new people come and join us just to try it out, see if they like us. I think that's a great way to ease your way into it as well. And I'm hoping that that this TV show will reach people who visit the NEK too, or maybe have summer homes here and don't realize that hiking is an option for them as well through the Green Mountain Club.
Yeah, it really is a sort of undersung resource. That how do you know about it if you quote don't know about it?
I was trying to think before I came here this morning. I was trying to think exactly how I found out about it, but it was one of those things that was just serendipitous. I have absolutely no idea how my path crossed Jean Haig's. But as we said before, she sucked me right in, and everybody else did too. So I can't say enough about it. It really changed my life when I came here. It really did. To be surrounded by this beauty, but feel like you can look at it, but you can't touch it. So once I started hiking, I didn't know anything about hiking. I was hiking in running shoes. I didn't know about spikes in the wintertime or using poles, or I'd never snowshoed until I moved here.
Well, it's really hard to snowshoe in California.
It's really hard on sand. Exactly. So it just taught me a lot, and it also taught me a lot. I already respected nature, but this took it to a whole new level. And to meet so many people who come from so many different professions and so many different ages, and you don't even really know that when you're out on the hiking trail. I find it's a really leveling activity, because people are just there not because of what they do or who they are or how much they have or don't have. We're all just there because we like to hike.
And speaking of equipment, which we did sort of tangentially a second ago, what equipment do people need?
Well, a backpack, which is...
And not a fancy one either.
Of course not. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Don't care if your clothes match, just as long as they're functional. So a backpack to put your water and snacks and some equipment in. In the winter, spikes and snowshoes. In the summer, just whatever you would whatever you would take on a walk, maybe some insect repellent,
Yeah.
water, food. And one thing I learned from Jean is always carry a headlamp.
Yes.
Always. Even if you're starting a hike in the morning, always
Yes.
carry a headlamp. And she taught us the hard way. We did have a long hike one day, and somebody had a little bit of trouble, and it was dusk by the time we
And
ended
it's
the hike.
really hard to walk out in the dusk.
It is very hard. So luckily we all had our headlamps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just basics, and you can learn also from the members that are already there, kind of what's really important to put in your backpack. And then you can look on the website too. I'm sure there are suggestions. Yeah.
I grew up in an area in the north of England where everybody hiked,
Mhm.
but the boots that we had then were the old leather kind that
Okay.
ate holes in your feet.
Yeah.
So the footwear that I have now and see on other people is so light and
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
wonderful.
it is. What a difference. That is another thing I learned. I learned a lot through the School of Hard Knocks, which
Yes.
sometimes is the best
Didn't
way
we
to
all?
learn. Yeah, is I just hiked all year in my hiking boots. I didn't realize you had summer hiking boots and winter hiking boots. And so I hiked all year in my summer hiking boots
Sure.
until somebody pointed out that I might want to consider getting winter hiking boots. And I got them, and I really felt like I was, validated.
And
I
you said, what's the difference?
I know. Oh, I learned the difference. Yeah, yeah. So it's minimal equipment,
Yeah.
which again is really a great thing. And of course, there's a small fee to join the club.
Do you know what the fee is?
I believe it's $45 for an individual,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a family. It's all on the website, but
It's great.
but it's great value for money. I get $45 worth of fun out of my first 10 minutes of any hike. Yeah, yeah.
What does the $45 get you? Besides
Oh.
the wonderful hikes.
Well, it gets you all that wonderful camaraderie, but it also gets you a really nice quarterly newsletter.
Uh-huh.
It's a magazine,
yeah.
and
The ability to know ahead where the
the
next...
ability to be hooked into the Green Mountain Club, not system, but just into the Green Mountain Club at large. There's a lot of great information that they put out, and once you join, you get put on the mailing list.
Can you hike anywhere other than the NEK once you have your membership? So it's statewide?
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely. Yeah, isn't that wonderful?
Is there
So-
reciprocity with other states?
that I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But that leads me to one thing I wanted to say is that we're almost at 10,000 members for the
Wow.
Green Mountain Club in the state. And there's
That's a lot. That's
I know.
fabulous.
I know, imagine that, 10,000 new friends.
Yeah.
All doing something you like to do.
Geez,
Yeah.
and it's not even Facebook.
Yeah. So we have an outgoing president right now, wonderful man who is, I heard that his kind of little goal is to leave having 10,000 members in the Green Mountain Club. So being on this
Yeah.
program today is my little effort
Oh.
to help him reach his goal, because I know he's done so many wonderful things for the club, and I'd like to, help him reach that goal before he leaves his term.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like
How
that
many
a lot.
members are there in the NEK group?
Good question. I think there are around 100, little over 100, maybe 110,
That's pretty good.
and room for a lot more.
yeah, I bet.
Yeah, room for a lot more, because as with any club, you usually only see the same people.
Yes.
Occasionally there'll be a change up, but it would be really nice to have the existing members come out on as many hikes as they can, and then have that new membership come in and join us too. Yeah.
Yeah. I know the rules are different now because of COVID. Normally, is there any restriction on numbers?
I think we like to keep it to, I want to say 10 people on a hike, because I think there are consequences to the trails.
Yeah.
When you overload them with too many people.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that. Of course, it's going out on TV, and I
Don't
said
worry
it.
about it.
But I understand that it's 10 people on a hike.
Yeah. That's
maybe different.
reasonable, manageable.
Yeah.
You can all keep in contact with each
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah, and it could get too unwieldy.
Yeah.
Another thing that is really great is, I don't know if it's every section, but our section occasionally offers first aid programs.
That's good.
Yeah, which trail first aid is so important. That's one thing that's on my list of things to do this year. And everybody just watches out for everybody too,
Yeah.
which is really nice. It's a really safe, it's a really safe environment.
What do you do when you find water? Just out of curiosity.
Cross it and hopefully stay dry.
Yeah.
Which doesn't always happen.
Of course not.
Yeah. When I went on a hike recently up on Middle Mountain, we did cross some water. I was with the gentleman who's the president of our local chapter, and
Yeah.
we did get a little bit wet. And he said, "Wow, we could really use a bridge here," but we could use a bridge. But at the same time, we like to keep parts of the trail wild, so
Of
to
course,
speak.
yeah.
Which
So
is another
put
great
an
thing.
extra pair of socks in that.
Yeah,
part, too.
yeah, exactly. I forgot what your question was. Oh, when we find water. Yeah.
How do you cross?
How do we cross?
No,
Carefully.
Yeah.
I let somebody else cross before me.
Oh, smart.
Preferably more than one person. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We just find our way across it. And if you're afraid of getting wet, a little bit wet, then it might not be the sport for you.
My guess is that if you live up here, that's not an issue.
I agree with you.
And if
completely.
you're visiting up here, you want to be like the people who live here.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be one of the cool kids.
Yeah. But I even suggest that if people are hearing this that live in a different part of the state,
Yeah.
that maybe they plan to come up here and do some hiking and let us know if they are coming up, because we'd love to show them some of the wonderful 38 trails we have.
Yeah.
I would have never found any of those if I hadn't joined the Green Mountain Club. I mean, everybody has access to them,
Right.
whether you're a member of the club or not.
Right.
It's just that we would really love to see you become a member, because it helps us with trail maintenance.
Right.
And it helps us to make repairs. And when there are blowdowns, people go up and they, sometimes have to saw big trees to clear the
Right.
trail. So it does take some money to maintain the trails.
Trail maintenance is a really big deal.
Yeah,
And it's a lot of hard work.
it is a lot of hard work, and it can be a lot of really fun hard work
Yeah.
with the group of people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Does your group take responsibility for individual bits of trail? And that happens on
Yeah.
other parts of the long trail?
Yeah, they're called trail adopters.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do.
I knew there was a term.
Yeah, technically, trail adopters. We do have trail adopters, yeah. And they're just really dedicated. It's not
Yeah.
easy. And it's one of those things that, it's like you have to keep up with it. As it would suggest, you have to maintain that section of the trail.
Right.
Which means you make a commitment. So I have a lot of respect for people that are trail adopters.
Right.
I am not. But I'd like to become one.
You're hiking in very often hauling a chainsaw with you,
Yes.
which
Yeah.
is not light.
No.
It's a
No.
lot of commitment.
Yeah. We have some really dedicated people who just do it because they love it, not
Yeah.
because they want people to know that they do it. But when you go hiking on a trail and it's clear
Yeah.
and it's nicely maintained, there are always people behind it who keep it that way. So I'm always really appreciative to them.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, even if people don't want to hike themselves necessarily, it's an organization worth joining and supporting, because it is keeping something open for everybody to enjoy. That's just so
I know.
important.
And it's such a legacy to Vermont. I mean, people move here because it's a beautiful state.
Right.
And if you live in a beautiful state, you should, I'm imagining that you want to enjoy that beauty.
I
and so
would think so.
it's just a great way to do it. And through Green Mountain Club, you can meet people in other similar clubs. This weekend I'm doing a tabling event up at Mount Hoare with Northwood Stewardship. And they're supporting backcountry skiers. So I'll be up there talking about the Green Mountain Club. Tabling
Nice.
and, standing there for a couple hours in,
Socially
freezing
dis-
cold
I
weather,
was gonna say
socially distant.
distanced.
Yeah, but I'm really excited because I'll get to see the people from Northwood Stewardship who I have a lot
Yeah.
of respect for, and maybe meet new people who do different sports. And it's a great community. it's really, the people who love the great outdoors are a great community.
Yeah, I mean, speaking for myself, I've never considered joining the group because when I've hiked, it's usually been with friends or with a spouse who's really into hiking,
Yeah.
or a variety of other things. But as I think about it, it's really important for all of us to support that because of the trail maintenance in itself. I grew up with a system of bridleways and footpaths that are institutionalized, and everybody puts into that, and everybody has access, and we sort of took it for granted.
Yeah.
And I didn't experience that when I first moved to the States, that there was not the same even awareness of the importance of a bridleway or a footpath.
Yeah.
But there is. There really is.
And, and it's just that I'm in awe of the dedication of the people. I go out and enjoy it, but like I said, I always kind of spare a thought for all the nice people who keep the trails open for all of us.
Yeah.
All around Vermont, yeah. I like other trails on the long trail, but of course I'm partial to the trails here in the Northeast Kingdom. And we have people that, from everywhere, from Lyndonville, St. Johnsbury. I mean, we have people that travel a long distance to hike with us because our trails are so unusual and so beautiful. Yeah. And a lot of times we'll meet behind the train station in Island Pond.
Yeah.
Because there's access to quite a few beautiful trails from there. And the other day somebody said, "Oh, you drive all the way to Island Pond just to hike?"
It's not far.
And I said, yeah, I never really even thought about it. I never spared a thought for the fact that I was driving so far because the reward is so great that you don't think about it.
Well, not only that, we all have to travel for anything up here. So how is Island Pond considered a distance?
Yeah, it's not
it's
that
all
far.
Relative, right?
And it's all relative. When I think of how far I'd have to travel in my home of Long Beach and LA just to get someplace, and all you see is 14 lanes of other cars, I think, wow, the drive is beautiful.
Right.
Yeah. So
if you're really lucky, you'll see moose along the way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's just, again, I just can't say enough about it. It can be life-changing.
Yeah. I'm curious. The state of Vermont is pushing 4 seasons outdoor activity. Of course, nobody's pushing mud season, 5th season. And we're certainly trying to do that up here. Is your NEK chapter involved in that? Because as I think about it, all of the publicity that I see doesn't really mention hiking and doesn't include it.
Well, that's really interesting because as you know, I was involved with that before I left and came back again. And you bring up a really good point. I haven't seen any natural collaboration either with the local Green Mountain Club, and I'm going to follow up on that. So thanks.
Because this is a real resource, an asset to our area, and it's accessible by anybody.
That's the beauty of it, really. So many of the 4-season sports, you either need to spend a lot of money on equipment, or you need to have access to whatever it is you want to do.
Right.
Spend a lot of money and time getting there. But with hiking, all you really need is the boots and some basic equipment, and you're golden. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, I'm going to follow up on that.
I really hope that you guys, your group, gets included in this.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's an attraction.
Because the Northeast Kingdom, as we know, living here, Pam, it is a gem, isn't it?
Yes.
And part of me doesn't want to tell people about that because I don't want too many people to come.
Right.
But a bigger part of me really wants to share it with everybody and show them what we think is so special about our home.
And we do have space for more people here.
Yeah.
People who want to be here.
Yes. So maybe this interview will go viral.
Yeah, do we need another virus right now? No. We're running out of time. As I say, it really goes fast when we do this. So at the end of this video will be information about how to contact you. What is your role with the group?
I'm actually the volunteer membership coordinator, and if anyone wants to contact me, I mean, you're welcome to contact me, but all the information that people probably need is on our NEK GMC, and if anybody wants to contact me directly, they can contact me through there. Yeah.
That's great. So you would be listed in
I am,
that as,
yes.
as the volunteer.
Yeah.
So are you coordinating volunteers or are you coordinating members?
Did I say volunteer coordinator?
You said volunteer member, so but
Oh,
you're,
yeah.
what you mean is you're functioning as a
I mean,
volunteer.
I am functioning as a volunteer, yes. I
As
do
is
not get
everybody
paid for what
else,
I
right.
do.
I
Yes,
know.
I do it out of the kindness of my heart. You understand that, right, Pam?
Absolutely.
I do it because it means a lot to me. And actually, when this position opened up, I was still living out of state. And it came through on an email. And the second I saw that they needed a volunteer membership coordinator, I said, I'm going to do that in memory of Jean, because she held volunteerism really
Right.
near and dear to her heart. And I know that she wanted to increase the membership. So I thought it was a natural thing for me to do.
So you were doing it from out of state for a while?
Not yet. I knew that I was going to be doing it when I
Oh.
was out of state, but I didn't start until January 10th when we had our inaugural meeting.
And you
Yeah.
just moved back.
And I just moved back, yeah. But I was expecting it, and it's a really happy job for me. Yeah.
That's great. So
Yeah.
your timing in moving back was impeccable.
Exactly. I could say I moved back just to do this.
You might as well. Why not?
Why not?
That's a sort of good introduction for anything.
There you go.
Thank you so much for coming and talking about this today.
It's been a pleasure,
And
Pam.
You've given me information I didn't have before, and I knew about the existence. So
Thank you.
So that's great. Thank you.
And I hope everybody watching this will look at our website and consider joining us for a hike, and then consider joining us as a fellow member.
Yeah,
Great. Thank you.
you're welcome.